Hello again. Listen, if you've been struggling with vertigo or tinnitus and wondering if there's any natural relief, you're in the right place. Vertigo, that unsettling spinning sensation, and tinnitus, the constant ringing or buzzing in your ears, can feel frustrating, disorienting, and even isolating. But there are practical, natural steps you can take to get relief. In today's episode, we'll break down what causes these symptoms, what might be triggering them in your body, and how to gently support your healing. We're also going to take a look at remedies that don't rely on prescriptions or surgery, and as always, we'll anchor our conversation in faith and in hope. Welcome to Life After 55, the channel where we explore natural remedies, spiritual encouragement, and practical tips for living well in your later years. I'm Roy, and as someone who deals with COPD and a touch of arthritis, I understand how aging can throw curveballs at your health. In this episode of Life After 55, we're tackling two frustrating problems that often hit as we get older: vertigo and tinnitus. I want to help you face them with faith, wisdom, and hope. And if you're new here, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you have a prayer request or a question, please drop it in the comments below, or you can email me at lifeafter55channel@gmail.com. Now, a bit of housekeeping with a quick disclaimer before we get into it here, okay? I am in no way, shape, or form a doctor, medical professional, or licensed counselor. I'm just a fellow traveler sharing what I've learned through research, my own experience, and faith. This video is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. Always, always, always check with your healthcare provider before starting any new supplement, diet, or treatment, especially if you're dealing with chronic conditions or if you are taking medications. Okay? All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's dive in. The first thing we need to do is we're going to try to understand vertigo and tinnitus. So let me just get to my little slideshow here. There we go. Pardon me. I was going to try to make it through this whole thing without coughing or anything, but the last week or two, the vertigo, the COPD has definitely been acting up. Anyhow, vertigo is a sensation of spinning or feeling off balance, kind of like the room is moving even when you're standing still. It's often caused by inner ear problems, inflammation, or circulation issues. Tinnitus, on the other hand, is that buzzing, ringing, or whooshing sound in your ears that nobody else can hear. It's often linked to age-related hearing loss, exposure to loud noise, or even neck and jaw tension. These aren't just annoying. They can affect your balance, your sleep, your concentration, and even your mood. So, what causes vertigo and tinnitus? Well, there isn't always one clear answer, but there are several common culprits that might be at play. Inner ear problems like inflammation, fluid buildup, or Meniere's disease. Now, please forgive me for those of you who might be French out there who know that I'm not pronouncing that correctly. I'm trying my best to pronounce that correctly, but it is a French name. Named after a physician, which I'll tell you about in a second. I'm saying it the best I can. I believe it's pronounced Meniere's disease. Anyways, right about now, you're probably asking, what in the world is Meniere's disease? Well, I'm going to tell you. Meniere's disease is a chronic disorder of the inner ear that affects balance and hearing. It's named after the French doctor Prosper Meniere, who first described it in the 1800s. Vertigo, on the other hand, is a symptom. It's that dizzy, spinning feeling like the room is moving around you. Meniere's disease is a condition that causes vertigo, along with other symptoms like ringing in the ears, hearing loss, and a feeling of pressure or fullness in one or both ears. Think of vertigo like kind of like a warning light on the dashboard of your car. It tells you that something's off. Meniere's disease is one of the things that can cause that light to come on. Now, another culprit is poor circulation or reduced blood flow to your brain and your inner ear. Another culprit is neck or spine misalignment, which is often due to posture, injury, or just plain aging. We can also add chronic stress to this list. Chronic stress can amplify both dizziness and ringing. A few more things that have been associated with causing vertigo and tinnitus are jaw tension or TMJ disorders, noise exposure or ear damage, and vitamin or mineral deficiencies, especially B12, magnesium or iron. For many people over 55, it's often a combination of these things, and that's why the remedies we're going to talk about next aim to support your whole system and not just mask the symptoms. Okay, so let's get into some natural ways to manage or reduce vertigo. First off, there's something called the Epley Maneuver. Now, this is a simple head movement technique that can help reposition crystals in your inner ear. A physical therapist or even your doctor can show you how to do it safely. The Epley Maneuver is a simple doctor-developed technique used to treat benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. Try saying that 3 times fast. Again, it's benign paroxysmal. Paroxysmal, that's it. Okay, benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, or easier, aka is BPPV, which is another common cause of vertigo, especially in older adults. It helps to move tiny calcium crystals called canaliths out of the inner ear canals where they don't belong, and it moves them back to where they do belong. Now, it's crucial to consult a healthcare provider before attempting the Epley Maneuver at home. They can confirm if the cause of your vertigo is BPPV and determine which ear is affected. All right. More things that you can that we can talk about for natural help is ginger root. Ginger has anti-inflammatory and anti-nausea properties, and you can sip ginger tea or take capsules to reduce dizziness and motion-related nausea. Stay hydrated. Dehydration can make vertigo worse. I think drinking water, period, is good for a lot of things. I think we'd all agree on that. Anyways, try to drink plenty of water throughout every day. Ginkgo biloba. Now, this is an herb that's known to improve circulation in the brain, and it may help with both dizziness and ringing in your ears. Limit salt and caffeine. Okay. Salt and caffeine can trigger or worsen episodes of vertigo, especially in those with Meniere's disease. And again, for the French people out there, please forgive me. I'm not trying to butcher the name. I think I'm saying it right. Okay, now let's talk about natural help for tinnitus. Here are some things that may help calm the ringing. Magnesium and zinc. Now, these minerals play a key role in nerve health and may reduce the intensity of tinnitus. Ask your doctor before supplementing. Okay, so make sure all of this stuff you go to a doctor first. Sound therapy, white noise machines, gentle nature sounds, or soft instrumental music can help drown out the ringing and help you sleep. I can attest to that because when I go to sleep, I usually I have my phone, even though I know I've preached about taking, turning your phones off and everything an hour before you go to sleep, and I don't really look at it. When I get in bed, I turn it. I go to YouTube and I find something like a blizzard, like it goes for 4 hours or whatever, and then I turn the lights off and everything, and I can't see the screen, but I can hear the sounds of the blizzard. There's other things they have. Like a train just going through some country, I guess, or whatever. There's like babbling brooks and things like that you can listen to help you sleep. Or even if you're, taking a nap or something, it's not so, I don't think it's such a bad idea to, put something like that on because it helps, it just helps drown out the ringing, and like I said, it can help you sleep. Now, acupuncture is another thing. It's not on my little slide here, but some people report relief from tinnitus after a few sessions with a trained acupuncturist. I've never tried acupuncture. I can say that I have a good friend who had some neck pain, some pretty severe neck pain, and she's a little bit younger, but she went to an acupuncturist a couple times, and she said it worked great. So take that with a grain of salt, I guess, or whatever. But like I said, I personally have never done that, and I don't know, how it works. But according to her, she said it worked good. All right, reduce stress. Now, stress can make tinnitus louder. Practice deep breathing, gentle stretching, or even short walks in nature to calm your nervous system. And if those of you who have watched me before, there was an episode we did back, I think it was episode 5, and it was titled, I believe, Natural Help for Stress and Anxiety. There's a lot of good tips in that. If you haven't seen that video, I would suggest maybe going back and looking at that one, because there are a lot of good suggestions for relieving anxiety and stress. And those could help you in this instance as well. Okay? All right. Another thing is limit loud noise. Wear ear protection if you're around loud machinery or loud music or traffic. Even brief exposure can worsen tinnitus. And I know you don't want to go driving around and, with headphones on, you probably get pulled over for that. I don't know. But, where there's earplugs, there's, things like that you can wear that if your tinnitus is acting up and you want to limit your noise, or your noise intake, I should say. Okay. Just a couple suggestions. All right. When do we seek medical advice? Well, listen, if your symptoms are sudden, or if they're severe, or come with hearing loss, speech difficulty, facial drooping, you need to get medical help right away, because these things could be signs of something a lot more serious, like a stroke or a neurological issue. Now, otherwise, if your vertigo or tinnitus is interfering with daily life, it's worth getting checked by an ENT, which AKA is a ear, nose, and throat guy or woman, or an audiologist. Okay? So I hope that this information that I've shared here is helpful to you or to someone you may know who is dealing with vertigo and or tinnitus. And for those of you who have been with me before, you know I believe in God, and I believe that Jesus, who healed the lepers, made the blind see, and the lame walk again, is the great healer. So, before we close, I always like to leave you with a little encouragement from the scriptures. Okay? Because to me, true healing goes beyond just the body. It reaches the heart, the mind, and the soul. And with that in mind, I'm going to be reading a verse from the Bible that's found in Psalm chapter 61 and verse 2. So, let me get my Bible. And this time I have it right here, so I don't have to leave. And Psalm, again, if you are following along in your Bible, is in the middle of the Bible, or roughly in the middle. And like I said, we're going to chapter 61, and we are going, to verse 2. Now, the other thing is, I always read from the King James Version. That's just the Bible that I have. And yes, see, I'm not faking it. Anyways, if we go to Psalm 61, verse 2, it says, and again, this is from the King James Version, it says, "From the end of the earth will I cry unto thee, when my heart is overwhelmed. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I." Okay, now, that's something to think about. I don't know. When your world feels like it's spinning and the noise just won't stop, there is a rock higher than you and higher than me. Even in the middle of dizziness and discomfort, we can ask God to steady us, calm our fears, and help us tune into His peace and his comfort. Okay, so I don't want to preach. I mean, like I said, that could be, I could start another channel where I do sermons or something, but this is not the time or place for that. I just wanted to leave you with that as a little bit of encouragement. So we'll just leave that where it's at right now, okay? All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Now, if this episode helped you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone else dealing with vertigo or tinnitus. And don't forget to subscribe. I've got more episodes coming your way on natural health, late life wellness, and encouragement rooted in faith. Now, if you've got a question, a suggestion, or a prayer request, please drop it in the comments below, or you can email me directly at lifeafter55channel@gmail.com. Hold on, I was just checking on my time here. And before I let you go, if you've ever felt like your immune system just isn't bouncing back like it used to, or you catch, wait a minute, I'm sorry. If you feel like your immune system just isn't bouncing back like it used to, or you catch every bug going around, then don't miss next week's episode. It's called Stay Strong, Boosting Your Immune System After 55. And we're going to dive into simple, natural ways to help your body fight off infections and staying well. Okay? Now, again, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so these videos can reach more people who may need them. We're trying to build a community here where we can help each other, encourage one another, and lift each other's spirits. And you never know, your simple act of liking this video might push the algorithm to place this video in front of just the right person at just the right time. That tiny click could be the miracle someone's praying for. And if you watched last week's episode, there was a story in there about a guy who jumped off a bridge. Kevin Hines, I believe, was his name. Kevin Hines, I'm pretty sure. I know his last name was Hines. I think his first name was Kevin. Anyhow, there was a story in there that I did in there about him. And when he jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge, he survived the fall. He was temporarily paralyzed. He miraculously survived. And somebody later on, his people had asked him, what could they have said or done, to keep him from jumping off the bridge. And his response has always been, if somebody had said anything, it would have showed me that people cared about me. So this is along those same lines, Again, a tiny click that you may, liking the video or whatever could be the miracle that someone's been praying for, because your liking the video helps push it through the algorithm and puts it in front of more people. Okay? All right, enough said. Until next time, I want to thank you all for watching, and I want to thank those of you who've subscribed. Don't forget to email me with any prayer requests, or you can drop your prayer request below in the comments. Speaking of comments, leave me one and let me know where you're watching from, or just say hello. Okay? Now, I want to wish each of you good health, many good days ahead, and serenity. Stay steady, stay strong, and stay hopeful, my friend. Lord willing, I will see you all again next week, same time, same channel. I think that used to be a Batman thing or something like that. But anyways, all right. Hopefully this helped you. Okay? Leave me a comment, leave me a question, anything. All right? Thanks. Bye-bye, and I'll see you next week, Lord willing.